Good afternoon. Let me just make sure that I'm connected here. And it looks like we are. So good afternoon, everyone. Carol Buckalew with Inky Bee Stampers. I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. I want to thank you so much for joining today. And I just recalled I probably didn't check the volume on my phone. There we go. Hopefully that's better. But good afternoon. So I have a fun fold for you today. And I'm calling this a modified easy sidestep card. So I don't know, a few months ago, hey Faith, thank you so much for joining. Hope you're doing well today. So a while ago, I provided a tutorial on an easy sidestep card, and you can see how this card sits. And I had cased this from Julie Davison, I believe, the original easy sidestep card. And I knew that I wanted to make a card using the Rain or Shine designer series paper. And I wanted to be able to use this little bridge here. And so I was thinking about this sidestep card. I knew I didn't want to make a bridge card. And so what I basically did, so the card base on this easy sidestep card is 2 pieces. And so basically the sidestep, the original card, it was 3 inches wide. I just split it right up the middle. And, oh, thank you, Faye. I split it right up the middle and moved each of the steps to, one to the right and one to the left to create the card. And, I had to play around with this. I wasn't sure if the fox would fit in the middle. I wasn't sure if the bridge would be able to join up on each end, and it worked out perfectly. So I kind of lucked out. But anyway, I thought it turned out cute. And I'm calling this a Rain or Shine card because the stamp set is playing in the rain. But really, this card's all about the paper. And we'll see that here in just a minute. I think to get started, I want to do just a little bit of stamping. Pull my things over here. Stamping and a little bit of coloring today, and I did some ahead of time, and I did some die cutting ahead of time, so we're all good there. But I want to stamp some flowers. Let me show you my sample card. So the inside is rain clouds, raindrops, and flowers along the bottom. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And let's start off here with our clouds. Now, I am stamping these images in Memento ink, only because if you look at the designer series paper in this set, and let me grab that paper here, the images are outlined in black. So I thought I would use the tuxedo black ink for my images here. And hey Mary, thanks so much for joining. Oh my, it's cutting out and buffering. I'm so sorry. Don't quite know what to do about that. Let me see if... let me know if it continues, and I don't know, maybe I can drop and rejoin. What do you think? But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and stamp a few clouds here across the top. Yeah, there's always challenges with technology, unfortunately. And if my clouds go off the edges, I'm fine with that. And let's stamp some more right here. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp my flowers across the bottom. And going to stamp them a little bit lower. And make these higher. Kind of vary the heights on them. There we go. And let me stamp my envelope while I'm thinking about it. And I'm just going to stamp my flowers down here in the corner on the front of the envelope, and that is good. And I can put my memento ink away. Faith, are you noticing issues with the video? Oh, I need my memento back. I forgot my sentiment here. Okay, I'm not seeing a response. No, it's good here. Okay, very good. Glad to hear it. So, Mary, maybe it's on your end. But anyway, when technology works, it's great. And when it doesn't, yeah, it's really frustrating. I'm just going to stamp on my grid paper here and make sure that my stamp is fairly straight. It looks fairly straight. And go ahead and stamp my sentiment. And then we'll get to the card base and the side steps. And that looks good. Set that aside. Try not to lose it. All right. I am going to do a bit of coloring. Maybe we'll get that out of the way here. And I'm going to need my little clouds. So I pre-cut some clouds, and I pre-cut a fox, and these are from the Designer Series paper. Isn't he adorable? And with my clouds, I don't know if I'm going to use this small cloud, but I'm going to fix them anyway. But what I have here is the light shade of Smoky Slate, and I want these are fair sky clouds, and it's raining in our little card scene, so I need these clouds to look like storm clouds. So what I'm going to do is just brush a little bit of Smoky Slate along the bottom of the cloud, and we'll do this little guy. I think these look more like storm clouds with a little bit of gray. I don't know if I'm going to use this guy, but we'll give them some color anyway. And then I'm going to take my color lifter. Now this is called a color lifter, but I have found that it kind of helps soften edges. Now this will take a minute to dry, but it kind of helps soften those edges so I don't have such a defined line. And I'm just brushing it right on the outside edge there of what I just colored in with the Smoky Slate. Look at that. And we'll let those dry. And let's get, oh, I forgot to get my Balmy Blue out. Light Balmy Blue. So I am going to use the light shade of Balmy Blue to color in my clouds, and then I'm going to come back with my Smoky Slate. Oh, thanks, Faith. Yeah, they got to be storm clouds, right? If it's raining. I mean, our little fox is holding an umbrella, so I assume it's raining. I'll tell you, it's been quite a week so far. Our little puppy, she's starting to feel better, slowly. But we had to take her to the emergency vet the other night, and she has a tick-borne bacteria, and it made her, it settled into a paw, and so she's kind of lame right now, hopping around on, oh, now the video is flickering. Oh my. Yeah, I noticed several weeks back when I go live on Facebook, the video kind of blips in and out, and I'm not sure why. No one's ever said anything. So I figured it was just something I had to endure. So I'm not really quite sure what's going on. I have an internet signal, so not 100% sure. So sorry for that. I have a feeling it may be Facebook, but who knows? But anyway, so she is on an antibiotic. It's not Lyme's disease, which I'm grateful for, because that can be hard to get rid of. It is treatable with antibiotics. So she is slowly improving, poor girl. But I'll tell you, she's a trooper. She can get around on 3 legs. But she's starting to put weight on her bad, I guess it's her wrist. But, oh, hi, Mom. Thanks for joining. You're not seeing a blip on your end. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. So, give it time. It'll probably start blipping. And I'm just going to add my smoky slate here to the bottom, and I'll blend that a little bit with my light balmy blue. Boy, that's a tongue twister. I don't know why I bothered to color those little clouds up there, but bless you, one of the dogs is sneezing. Maisie is sneezing. All right. Just blend these real quick. Yeah, so anyway, with all the dog stuff, it's been quite a week. And then the other, Maisie goes to the vet tonight for her rabies shot. But it is like Dog Central this week. Yeah, Mackenzie is the one that's lame right now, Faith. But she's hanging in there. She's getting better, I think. All right, I'm going to color all of the leaves for these little flowers in light mossy meadow. And I've got some flowers that will be going on the front of the card. I already stamped and die cut those, just so I didn't have to torture you guys too terribly long with my coloring. Okay. And the centers of the flowers are going to be the dark shade of Cajun Craze. And get those colored in. And then the flower petals are going to be Mango Melody. And because we don't have a Mango Melody Stampin' Blend, I'm going to use my blender pen and color those flower petals with from my ink pen. So if you watched my video last week, you saw me do that on another card. I like Mango Melody. It's kind of my jam. Yeah, it's Maisie is M-A-I-Z-I-E, and Mackenzie, instead of S-I-E, it's Z-I-E. So we have Z's in their names. All right, and so I'm going to grab my blender pen, and all I do is dab my blender pen on the edge of my ink pad. I've never had any issues with my ink pads, dipping my blender pen in the ink pad. It seems to work just fine. But there are a lot of little petals here. Try to make quick work of this. And these images are so tiny that you really don't need to fuss with how these are colored. Just need to be careful to stay within the lines. I think we all learned how to do that back in elementary school. Yeah, the Pender Blend works great. I have actually used the blender pen in the past. If I have stamped a sentiment or something, you got to have a pretty steady hand. But I've actually, gotten the ink out in a blender pen and fixed stamped sentiments. If one's giving me trouble stamping or something. And actually works. If the font is thick enough. If it's really fine, it's pretty hard to do. Of course, you could also use a Stampin' Right marker as well. But I always grab my blender pens. I don't know why. That's kind of my go-to. Okay, just a few more 100 petals here to color. I just remembered I have to do my envelope too. So the weathermen, I think, fibbed. Last week they were saying all this week it was going to be really nice. And I'll tell you what, Monday and Tuesday were downright chilly. There was a wind blowing and it was just cold. But today it is sunny and mild and 55 degrees. I actually got warm sitting on the deck when I had the dogs out. So I'll take that. I'll take that weather any day. And let me grab my envelope here and get these colored in real quick. I keep a scrap piece of cardstock next to my ink pads, and I use it to slip inside my envelopes so I don't get any bleed through from my Stampin' Blend markers. And I just reuse the same piece of scrap cardstock over and over. Comes in quite handy. But it saves, you know, the ink. I can have a heavy hand sometime. So it saves the ink from bleeding through the envelope onto the back side. Because nobody wants to have to redo the envelope if you don't have to. Okay, that is it. Just gonna... I got a lot of ink in that. Just scribbling my Stampin' Blend off so that I get the ink out of there so that the next time I use it, I'm not surprised. There we go. I think I got it out. All right. Let me close up the Mango Melody. I'm done with that, and I will color in our leaves real quick here. Oh, well, thank you, Faith. Appreciate it. Whoops. Yeah, I just went outside the line, Faith. All right, that is good for the envelope. And we can start putting our card together. And I'm going to show you what we have here. So this is the card base. And I will have all of these measurements on my blog tomorrow. You'll be able to grab a PDF tutorial. But this card base is 8 inches by 5.5 inches, and it is scored at 3, 6, and 7. And so the card folds up. Let me grab my bone folder. Make sure that's straight. Give that a nice crease. So that is a mountain fold at the 3-inch score line. The 6-inch is a valley fold. And then the 7-inch score line is a mountain fold. And let me just make sure that looks pretty good. And just give those a nice crease. And that is our card. So this would be the inside of the card. And I'm going to go ahead and put our sentiment on now. With this card, it's probably best to do your inside panel first and get it inside the card, because once you put those side steps on, it can be a little bit challenging. There we go, that looks good. All right, and I just remembered I forgot to color my flower centers here on my envelope. Let me do that real quick. Okay, that's good. Oops, oh, throwing everything around. All right, so on our card base, I've got 2 panels that are the same size, 5 3/8 by 2 7/8. and one's going to go on the back of the card, but not yet. Save that back panel. That goes on last. I'm going to go ahead and glue up this panel onto our card front of the card base. And I love that wiggle room on the glue. It's perfect. And got a little carried away there though, putting it down. All right, that's good. And then I have a strip here that is going to go on the very front. And I'll go ahead, and these colors are Flirty Flamingo and Mango Melody. And I think these are such pretty colors together. Mom, this paper reminds me of the carpet in my bedroom when I was growing up. Although the pink is not quite as pink. I had a bedroom carpet when I was young in my parents' house that was red, pink, and orange. Might explain why I like those colors so much. I don't know. All right. There we go. So that is our card base. We've got our inside already in place. So these are the side steps, and they are 6 inches by 1.5 inches, and they are scored at 4 inches, and I've got 2 of them. I've got panels, and my original card, I chose this Mango Melody flowered pattern for the side panels. I'm going to change that up a bit. And I went with kind of this plaid in Mango Melody. Yes, Faith, yes. Well, actually, probably the carpet was installed in like the mid-60s maybe. But yeah, it was bright, it was cheerful. My mom and dad made sure I had a pretty bedroom, so I was kind of spoiled in that respect. All right, there we go. Decorator designed, is that right, Mom? I think my mother was the decorator. My mom has good taste. All right. Get this other panel on. Your son had a bright red carpet in his room too. Yeah, I don't know. It's just something about bright colors. I think it puts you in a good mood. All right, let me just try to get this even. All right. I think we're good. I should have probably... Oh, a decorator suggested it, not you. Okay, got it. I didn't know that, Mom. Okay. All right. So, these are our side steps. And real quick here, let me grab a pencil. Real quick here, I am going to, I'm going to lose my clouds under my sign there. Real quick here, I'm going to turn these over to the back side. And I just want to kind of give myself a reference on how far I can glue on these side step panels. And what I'm going to do is adhere the right and left side steps so that they are flush with the sides of the card base, flush with the bottom and the sides. So I just wanted to give myself a little reference on how far up I can place that glue. And we will get these on. And I found that if I stood that little easel kind of section up, you know, and pushed down and kind of pushed against the edge, that I was able to get these on so that they're straight. As straight as I can get them, put it that way. Alright, let's get this one glued up. Yeah, but I was looking at this paper, it just hit me that, gee, that looks like my bedroom carpet when I was a little girl. Just make sure these are adhered good. Okay, there we go. Hopefully my PDF explains it well enough, Faith. So we've got these on. I'm going to close this card. I'm going to flip it over and hold it down, hold the card closed, and I'm going to apply glue to just the top 1/4 inch of each of these side panels, side steps. So just about 1/4 inch. And while that card is closed, I'm going to close those and hold them down for a beat. I'm going to make sure they're not hanging over the edge. That one was, so I'm glad I caught it. Again, recommend liquid glue for this because it does give you a little bit of wiggle room. And I just want to make sure that those are adhered good. Okay. All right. I think we're good. So now our card base and side steps are one piece now. So the reason you wait to put this second panel on, this second panel on the back of the card actually hides kind of those side step pieces being on there. So we can go ahead. Oh, thank you, Anne. Appreciate it. We can go ahead and put this back panel on now that the side steps are on. There we go. And that pretty much hides your little, connection points. Somebody would have to really pay attention and look for that. But it dresses the card up nicely. All right, so we can move on. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to put our little fox and puddle. Let me find the puddle. There's the little puddle, little tiny puddle. And this puddle, let me show you the paper. So the clouds were cut out using the Playing in the Rain die set. So this die will cut out these clouds on the DSP. So just be aware of that. And then this die was used, it's upside down. You can see the umbrella. This die was used to cut out the fox. From this piece of paper, you can see him partially down here. But there's also a bunny and the turtle you can cut out, and they are so adorable. There's another piece of paper with a dog and a little pig, and they're cute as well, but there's no dies to cut those out. But anyway, so what, on my original card, just to explain here, so this bridge, because it was spanning all the way across, whoops, I'm out of frame here, sorry. Because it was spanning all the way across, what I did was I cut this bridge 3 times. This is Old Olive. I cut the bridge out 3 times, and I stacked and glued them all together so that it gives it some rigidity. When I made this card, I did put backings, white backings on the clouds, but I did not do it on the fox. And you can see that there's some give there. And if you weren't careful when you, say, were opening the card to sign it, this can get bent back. So you need to be aware of that when you're opening the card, and make sure it's flat, and then place it flat on the surface if you're writing in your card. But just be aware of that. But so for this card, what I did was I cut out the fox and umbrella in just white cardstock, and I'm going to go ahead and glue Mr. Fox down to this piece of white cardstock just to give it some rigidity. And I'm going to do the same for the clouds. And that should pretty much help stabilize him a bit. And these are super easy to stack together. And if you turn it on the reverse, if you're not lined up, you would see the pattern paper on the back side. There we go. Okay, so he's a little more rigid. I am going to do the same thing for the clouds. And again, I'm not 100% certain that I'm going to use that smallest cloud. But we'll go ahead and get this glued up together. And I am definitely going to run over today. So sorry, guys. All right, so there's one. I suppose after you do videos for a while, you get better. Either that or I need to do less complicated cards. All right, that's not how that one lines up. There we go. That's how it lines up. All right. Just saw that this one slipped. There we go. Okay. Got that set. And I'm not going to use that small cloud. So the only thing I need to do is I already have 2 of the bridges glued together. I've got a third one here. And we'll go ahead and get that glued up and put on. You like complicated cards? I do too, Faith. But sometimes I think it might deter people. I don't know. And I don't want to do that. But sometimes they just need to be. Sometimes it just calls for it. So I'm just barely running this glue over. If it leaks out a little bit, I'm not worried about it. Can always rub it off. And again, these are super easy to stack up. And that glue gives you a little bit of wiggle room. And there we go. So, like I mentioned, I totally lucked out. I'm going to go ahead and get some dimensionals on the back. What happened to my dimensionals? Uh-oh. I had them out. They seem to have disappeared. All right, let's get some more. So I'm going to go ahead and get dimensionals on the back of my fox here. And I do not want to put dimensionals above that umbrella. And I cut my dimensionals in half. It kind of conserves them. I use a lot of them, so it helps a bit to conserve them. And with the card closed, our fox sits nicely in there. Just going to make sure that I'm not too close. I'm perfect with the dimensionals. So that's all good. But before I put the fox down, I want to get our puddle in place. Get some glue on the back of that. And again, with the card closed, I'm going to go ahead and just glue that puddle down just above, just above this bottom section when our card is closed. But that puddle kind of helps ground the fox. Now I don't know if you can see this, but he just fits between those side steps. I couldn't have lucked out any more on this working out because I wasn't sure if it would work. But you know, sometimes you get lucky. And I've got a dimensional cover that doesn't want to come off. Get off there. And so I'm going to close my card and set Mr. Fox down in between our two side steps. You don't want him brushing along the side steps. That would definitely interfere. Yeah, and I'm much happier with that umbrella. It's not quite so floppy. Now, I'm going to take my largest card, and what the heck is going on with the dimensionals today? I just lost another strip of them, honest to God. Wow. I can't imagine what the heck I'm doing with the dimensionals. It's like they're walking away. I don't know. So on the front of, oh, I don't want that one. I want a skinny one. On the front of my largest cloud, I'm going to put some dimensionals here at the very bottom. Just 2. And again, you know, we reinforced this cloud on the back so it is a little more rigid. And if you can see here, I'll try to show you. I'm just going to tuck that cloud behind the fox's umbrella, so it looks like the cloud is sitting behind him. Turn that right side up so you can see it. Isn't that adorable? And then we're going to go ahead and, I was going to say, please tell me I didn't just lose another strip of dimensionals. Holy cow. I had 2 strips out, and then I grabbed another one and lost it. I don't know. I'll have to look on the floor. Maybe I dropped them. If you're not following my blog, inkybstampers.com, be sure to go out there and check out all of the celebration fun that is going on right now. But I've got all of that information out on my blog, and you know what? That dimensional is hanging over. Well, let me see if I can get it off carefully. Okay. I'm going to take this guy off. Whoop, help. Look, I took it off the wrong side. Well, good grief. All right, let's try this again. Dimensionals. I just have adhesive. If you gently rub with your thumb, you can peel that adhesive off from the dimensionals if you need to. All right, let's try this again. I'm going to put that little cloud right about there, and I've got him hanging over the side step. And I'm just wondering if that cloud is too high. I think we'll be okay, but I'll test it in my envelope. The sentiment label is also going to get dimensionals. Okay. Maisie's eating them. I hope not. Well, that would be another vet visit. Can't do that. I tell you, it is so expensive, but our puppies are worth it. They're our babies. They are our babies. It has been so nice out that... Did I get them all? Oh, there's one. It has been so nice out that when I let them out, they don't want to come in. I can't blame them. All right. And this sentiment label, I am going to center right down here on this bottom panel. Try to get it as even as I can. Let's see if I got it stuck straight. It looks like I did. Go ahead and give that a press down. And we are almost done, folks. I do apologize for running over. But how cute. How cute is that? Oh, no, we're not done. most important thing of all, we got to put our bridge on. So this bridge, I want to line up at the top of this bottom panel. So it will get adhere to both side steps. So we're only putting glue on the side steps. And because I've left my glue open, getting a little gunky. There we go. And it's nice and rigid, so no worries. And you know, these actually, the lines on the paper actually kind of help with placement here. Just want to make sure they're centered and give them a good press down. And there we go, we have our bridge on. So you can see how that will look. Cute, huh? All right, so the last thing to do is to get our envelope finished up, and we are all done. There's more flirty flamingo in this piece of paper. It's kind of modeled. But cute, cute paper. And this set is out of the 2023 January to April mini catalog. So if you've not grabbed it yet, I would grab it. It's definitely cute, cute paper. Yeah, and the set as well, the bundle. All right, there we go. I got some smudgies on my blue smudgies on the front of my envelope. But there we go. Those are our cards for today. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I want to thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Oh, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Have a good day. Take care.